One of the biggest issues that most companies face whenever they're scaling is finding A-tier talent. And in this video, I'm going to be going over every single acquisition system that we have that we use within our company to find A-tier talent, how we have gone about finding the best talent in the world and how we have them within our company, and the systems that we have to test and filter through the talent, and what we do in terms of onboarding and actually getting them, like, I guess you could say cadenced and getting them onboarded to the company. And just to show you guys that we actually do have the best talent in the world, I want to show the results as to which we have and which we get with our clients. We have generated over 100 million total revenue generating use for our clients, over 100,000 leads for our client, and over $10 million in pipeline value for our clients. And none of this would be possible if it was just one person or one or two people that were good at their jobs. We hire the best in the world, and we have extremely strict regulations and extremely strict guardrails to get the best people in the world. These are all of our clients' back dashboards, and here's the dashboard for the leads. So the first thing that I want to start us off with is as to how we actually go about finding talent. And one of the most underrated places to look for and find talent is in very specific places as to where your talent actually. One of the mental models that I like have, or whenever I go about finding talent, is really thinking and breaking down to a personality trait what type of talent we're actually looking for. So for example, a YouTube creative. Whenever we try and look for YouTube creatives, what we do is we kind of break it down to the personality traits. And a lot of YouTube creatives tend to be not as organized as a lot of people would think. And they tend to be a bit more sporadic and spontaneous in a lot of ways, because what they do is they're constantly coming up with new blue ocean ideas, and they're constantly coming up with things as to which a lot of people don't talk about. So their personality traits tend to be a little bit different than other people. And then once we break it down into a personality trait, we like looking for very specific places where these people hang out. So whether it be Discord communities for creatives, a lot of the creatives as to which we have found are obviously like via referrals and via friends, or YouTube Jobs. YouTube Jobs is a fantastic place to look for creatives, but one of the most underrated places is Discord communities for editors. And obviously you can find editors in there, you can find tons of different people in those places, but communities for that specific role is one of the best places to find that specific role. And then another one for developers is GitHub, especially if you kind of understand and you know development and kind of you know how to code. You are, I guess you could say, a bit of a junkie, that type of stuff. Looking in that specific, like in GitHub repos and kind of just going through their projects and texting them about their projects is one of the best ways of finding undiscovered talent. And that's something as which we like doing, is we like finding diamonds in the rough, people that are pretty new to their role. They might not be the best in terms of as to what they're actively doing, but we see and we find the potential in what they're doing, and they have the skill set to evolve. So looking in hidden / specific places where they have a lot of hidden talent. And the second thing is looking at their work. Like I was talking about for the GitHub, it's the same thing for editors, for creatives, for growth operators, or for whatever role that you're looking for. Looking at their work and actually understanding what they're doing and complimenting on it. One of the key things is whenever we're looking for creatives or for editors, we like calling out specific things and like little intricacies within their work, complimenting it. Because whenever someone's truly passionate about what they do, you compliment a very specific thing, they feel appreciated. Not necessarily just saying like, oh, cool video, like actually like calling out a very specific detail. Like for a developer, calling out a very intricate way of as to how they've architected the code, and actually like basically showing that you have a proof of concept as well. Because Genius is only like working. Genius is something. Third, it's actually reaching out to them and commenting on their post, DMing them, and basically going out and about and getting your hands dirty to communicate. They'll get to a point where you can run ads, and if you have a brand, it makes it a lot easier. But whenever you're first getting started, actually getting your hands dirty, or having someone that is within your company that's trustworthy, that understands that role, having them get their hands dirty and reaching out to that. And fourth is aim for a booked call. Actually try and get face-to-face, and depending on the role, you want to see if they're a good cultural fit. Like for example, if it's like a very specific and a very intricate and very important role in your company, you definitely want to aim for a booked call, and you want to tell you and actually like see what their personality is like, get them on a call, because it's a very different, like it's a completely different skills at texting and seeming impressive via call versus seeming impressive and actually like knowing, like basically just, I guess you could say, trying to be flashy via text. So fourth thing is at the end of the day, you want to aim for a booked call. And then my favorite way, obviously this is the first thing, whenever you have nobody, you have to get your hands dirty. Geniuses know other geniuses, good talent there's other good talent. Asking for intros and having these people refer you, and even if they're not at your company, even if they're ex-employees or like a friend, these people know really good growth operators, like good growth operators. Creatives know other good creatives. Editors know other good editors. Good taste just tends to like linger within itself, and like someone who's really good at what they do usually is not going to be friends or isn't going to refer someone who isn't equally equally or as good or up to standard. And then now I'll go into a bit more of the intricacies as to how we have it out. Job boards, ads, organic post referrals, and one that I forgot to add here is like actually getting our hands dirty into doing outreach. And once we've gotten a good pool of people as to which could be potential candidates to hire, what we like doing is we like having them fill out a form and recording a Loom video. And this form is a very simple form. It's just asking for their names and just their contact information just to be able to follow up with them. And then one of the key pieces here is having them record a Loom video, especially whenever you're doing massive amounts of volume and you have a lot of people within your pipeline. What I've seen is very important for them to record a Loom video, because if someone isn't going to go out of their way to record a Loom video, most of the time they're just not like good at what the fuck they do, and they're not actually serious about their job. Like, it's very easy to submit an application, to submit like past referrals, and to submit I forgot what it's called. The thing that people have for jobs. I forgot what it's called, but it like goes over all their like stuff. I forget I said that shit. But this is a way of having them see how good they are at speaking, especially if you're going to hire a sales rep. If the sales rep isn't going to record a Loom video, or someone who is going to be getting a lot of face-to-face time, if they aren't going to record a Loom video, that immediately disqualifies them. So if they don't record a Loom video within our company, automatically disqualified. And after that, all we do is we send them to a calendar and we have them schedule a time to take a test. And we have very specific tests that we have within our company. So I'm going to show you guys. So we have specific tests for every single role, and all of these tests were crafted and were designed by the person who's actively the best in that role. So we didn't necessarily just come have Claude, like, all right, Claude, make us an editor test. Like, no, these are specifically designed and architected tests to extract the information out of a person and to actually be able to see if this person knows what the fuck they're talking about. I'll go over so what we do is it's a very, very simple test. It's idiot proof, and if a person can't follow these simple instructions, then you should probably reconsider hiring. You want to have to be as specific as possible, is a lot of the times it's what we've seen, especially whenever we're hiring for a designated role that's like a head of department, for example. We want them to be obsessive over the details, and we want them to be obsessive over the things that most people wouldn't notice. For example, I use creative a lot of the time. What a lot of people say is like, oh, the thing that you want to optimize for is click-through rate and average duration. But it's like, okay, cool. Like, what are the details and what are the things and the actionables that you have to have good click-through rate, to have a good average duration? So it's going into the details and seeing as to if this person actually understands, and we have them break down this video. And based off the breakdown, we'll see if they actually have a good understanding or not. They obviously can't leverage AI, but AI only knows so much about being a creative, about editing, about growth operations. So this does require specific knowledge, and this test is designed to extract. So we have them schedule and take a test, and then if it did pass, then we'll just politely disqualify them. If it did a short video or it was a shitty video, then just politely disqualify. And if it did pass the test, then we hop on a call with them. A lot of the times it'll be one-on-one with either Josh or I, or with the head of the department as well. What we like doing is we like having like a multi-stage test or multi-stage calls. So it'll be a call with me, a call with Josh, a call with the head of the department, and then a call with somebody else. And then if every single person on the team is not impressed or does not approve of this person, then they simply just do not pass and do not qualify. And the main reason for this is to see if they're a cultural fit and to see if they actually are a good fit for the company. And then once we all approve and once they've got the green flag from every single person that hopped on a call with him, we'll start onboarding them. And we try and have an onboarding process depending on the role and depending on how new they are, having a 1 to 2 day onboarding process. That way we basically give them time to contextualize and to be able to absorb all the information and to understand kind of like the moving parts, read the designated SOPs, understand as to how the company operates, hop on a bit more calls, get kind of like assigned, and kind of just let them decompress and understand the roles. So what we'll do is we'll send them to Squark, have an onboarding call, out to the Slack channels. They receive an ICP deep dive, brand voice guidelines, 5 best pieces of content and the 5 best pieces of what their current role is. So for a growth operator, they'll receive the best forming funnels as to which we have current performance metrics and current KPIs and what their KPIs are going to be, and then assigning the first set of variables. Then it'll be another call with head of department. This is depending on us if the onboarding call went well, or if we even had an onboarding call, we'll have another one. But a lot of times we try and compress the amount of meetings as to which these people have. But then after that, we do have weekly cadences, which I can go into in a bit. But then then it's having them ask questions, and it's basically just getting them and assigning them to the specific client and getting them kind of get a feel for us of what the role is going to be. And then after that, they kind of tap into the onboarding and ongoing regular cadences. And one of the key things, which is super important in this situation, is making it very clear what their KPIs are, what their scope of work is in terms of deliverables, and giving them specific deadlines. So for example, if it's a creative, what we do is there's a rhythm within our company that someone has to like maintain. So for example, it'll be weekly reporting sessions with the client, It'll be having weekly scripts ready for the client. It'll be posting 1 to 2 times a week, depending on the strategy for the client. And they'll have like assignments. So there's like a specific system in terms of input and output. And then there's a specific owner to that, the who, the what, and the when that we like having within the company. And then that keeps the rhythm of the company going. That way, whenever we hire a new client or we get a new client or hire a new person, this doesn't break the rhythm, and this allows for us to predictably scale without things breaking, without things shifting. So then it's having daily communication lines, weekly check-ins with the company, and then having like the weekly calls, the weekly / bi-weekly things with the clients, monthly client satisfaction reviews, monthly performance reviews, and then just basically cadences that kind of keep the rhythm going, as I previously mentioned. And one of the most important, well, not most important things, one of the things as to which we have in our company as we are as we're scaling and adding more and more people, is we are reviewing people's performances and then ranking them based off the performance, seeing as if they are an S rank. And if they're an S rank, that means they're a higher echelons of talent and they qualify for certain other incentives that lower ranks don't. That they have a certain like pool in terms of their incentive model, and they get assigned, and like basically they get some of the harder and better clients. Obviously we don't like discriminate, but they do get like harder clients and clients that are potentially bigger names in the space. I don't want to say like they get prioritized, but they do get prioritized. We do discriminate, and well, obviously with reason, because this incentivizes the people who are in the lower ranks and the people who are not as good to want to improve and to want to constantly get better. And this pushes them to want to study more and to actually want to climb their way up. A lot of the times right now we don't have any lower ranks because within our company we're not huge to the point where we have a ton of juniors, but this is something as to which we're actively improving and kind of scoping out. Whenever we do start hiring more and more juniors, they are actively incentivized to want to grow, to kind of scale their way up, because every single person within the company, as of right now, I'd say, is easily an S rank. So this is all from A to Z in terms of finding talent, in terms of actually filtering to the talent, onboarding talent, and then kind of just filtering through them, kind of just having the entire process from A to Z mapped out. And then we do have things that are in a bit more detail in terms of as to what we have for the SOPs between each role. But one of the things that if I had to make it actionable is actually defining what type of talents are you looking for. So before you even start looking for anyone, is actually defining what is that I'm looking for. And then based off of the thing that's what you're looking for, you map out what are their tasks, what are their assignments, and what is it that this person actively does. So if it's a creative, what they have to do is they have to record with the client, or so they have a producer, and they don't have to do that, but they have to come up with scripts, come up with viral YouTube ideas, come up with packaging, titles, thumbnails, etc., etc. And then once you have that mapped out, you're able to actually have like a scope and an understanding as to who you're looking for. And once you have that, obviously the more data the better, but you want to understand the personality traits of this person. That's what you're looking for based off their tasks and based off. And once you understand that, you can know where to look. And once you know where to look, you want to actively kind of just spend a certain amount of time every single day reaching out to people, looking through like specific jobs that they've done, and kind of just, I guess you could say, taking time to reach out. And then once you've contacted you want to, depending on how good they are, because there are some people that a lot of the times you would be like, this person's so fucking good, but you still want to aim to hop on a call with them, because people can seem very, very good on paper, and they can seem very, very good past work, but you still want to, like, you don't want to necessarily discriminate. Obviously there's nuances. I don't want to necessarily be like my word is law. There will be nuances, but a lot of the times you still want to aim and you don't want to discriminate before you actually hop on a call with them. Because a lot of the times we've had this happen to us before. This person seems great on paper. They've grown channels from 0 to 100,000 subscribers. They seem great, but then whenever it comes to them actually like pulling the trigger and working with us and being a cultural fit, it's just not it. So that's something as which I've made multiple mistakes on it. I want to just make sure you keep my warning. Yeah, that's making sure you have a test and you understand as to what you're trying to optimize for, a good role and what a good fit is. Making sure that they actually take the test, making sure that they record a Loom video, 30-second Loom video, where they kind of just go through what role, or like basically they map you out in terms of who they are, what they do, their past experiences, etc., etc. And